let's talk about Premier Parfait Chunky Glitz yarn. I'm May, and this is May's Crochets. I'm a beginner crocheter, and I've been starting to experiment with more yarns to try to get a feel for what I like and what I'm going to keep using moving forward for making amigurumi plushies. And I know a lot of people out there, they love their chenille yarns. And so I've been really interested in making things with chenille. I have a couple of previous videos where I did my first couple of projects with chenille yarn using Premier Basics Chenille Brights. This was the first chenille yarn that I tried, and I made Ollie the whale and Carl the crayon. You can see both using this nice green color. So I have previous videos about each of these. The first time was really, really hard. The second time went a lot better. But I'd been ready to branch out and wanted to experiment with some more chenille yarns just to see like what else is out there. Are there other yarns that I might like even better? I had read a lot of things online and seen people talking about how some chenille yarns are really, really challenging to work with. And that's really why I ended up starting with this Premier Basics Chenille Brights, is that people said it was not as hard to work with. It didn't shed too much. It didn't break apart. I was like, what does that even mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. But right. So I was ready to try something new. And I love glitter. I love shiny things. I love sparkly things. And so I saw that Premier has this Parfait Chunky Glitz. And I was really excited to try it. So I bought some. Here is like the black with this like beautiful silver glitter and glitz. And I don't even know actually what I'm going to make with this black glitter yarn, but I had to get it because I was so excited to just try it. What I did decide I was going to make was a unicorn pattern. It's actually from Premier's website, and it's a free pattern for this adorable kind of gigantic rainbow plush unicorn. I'll link the pattern below. I'm going to show you my work in progress. It's not done yet, but I'm using this Parfait Chunky Glitz to make the unicorn. So it's white with some yellow and some blue, and then it's a different yarn for the rainbow mane for the hair, so that's going to be a separate thing. But I can show you here's the yellow. This is for the unicorn horn. It's not as glitzy, like the black is just so glitzy. You can really see the glitz. Yellow, it's there, but it's not quite as noticeable just because yellow is kind of a quieter color. And same for the blue. The blue is going to be on the arms and the legs partially. So there's that glitz. And then the bulk of the body is white. So here is some of the yarn. I've worked through most of it, and I'm going to show you my work in progress in a little bit. But here's white with some little kind of subtle sparkles in there. So yeah. I was really excited about the idea of doing this pattern with sparkly, glittery yarn. The Rainbow Unicorn pattern on the Premier website is actually not like, they're not specifically recommending this yarn to do it with. They recommend, I think it's like a velvet yarn to do it with, which has similar colors of the white, the yellow, and the blue, similar light blue. But I just thought like, a sparkly unicorn, of course, a sparkly rainbow glittery unicorn, that is what we want to do. So I'm substituting the yarn here to try it out. The reviews on the Premier website for this Parfait Chunky Glitz yarn were not 100% glowing. There were some people who said it was hard to work with, that it shed, and that it did break. And I figured, like, let me just try it. I mean, I'm going to see. I want to know what these people are talking about when they say that some of these other yarns are a lot harder to work with. And so this will be my chance just to, like, try it out, see how bad it can be. And then make a decision on if I'm going to continue to use this yarn in the future. So I got my white Chunky Glitz yarn. I started to make my magic ring, and as soon as I went to pull the magic ring part together, I saw exactly what everyone is talking about. I pulled it, and like the whole part of the yarn just it shed, and I don't know if you could see that, but I just did it again. I'm barely even pulling it. And here it all goes. There it's going. Bye-bye. There it is. And then if I kept pulling to try to close the magic ring, it came apart. Okay, so this is what everyone's talking about. Now I know. So I had to try it a bunch of times, but eventually I was able to get something to work. God, it's like still shedding. Here it goes. Look at this. This is crazy. This yarn. Oh my God. So I did eventually get it to work. I had to be very delicate. And the trick that ended up kind of working for me, which I read about somewhere, was like keep the kind of the hole for the magic ring like as small as you possibly can so that there's a lot less to have to then like pull to close it all the way, and to also I think try to close it like as you go, kind of incrementally, like do a stitch, close it a little bit, do another stitch, close it a little bit more so that it doesn't get like totally stuck. But even so, I ended up like shedding, when I closed my magic ring, I ended up totally shedding this down. As you can see, this is crazy. Look at this. There it goes. Bye bye. Um, so yeah, so I made it work for the magic ring, but definitely not ideal. I've also seen people talk about, but I never actually tried this yet, the idea of having another type of yarn that's like a thinner, maybe like an acrylic or just a thinner like weight yarn that's the same color that you do alongside the chenille yarn for the magic ring, and that you use that yarn to pull, and that doesn't have the same problem, and that's how you can close it. And that makes sense to me. Like it just sounded a little bit complicated, so I didn't end up trying that, but I could see doing that in the future. But it'd be nice to not have to do that. And I will say, my Premier Basics chenille brights that I've used for my other projects, I had no problem with that. You can see, like, if I pull, like, nothing's coming off. If I pull, it's not, I mean, if I pulled hard enough, maybe it would break, but if I pull, it's, like, not too bad. So that is true, what everyone was saying about chenille yarn, what some of the reviews on the Premier website were saying about this Parfait Chunky Glitz, although it is beautiful. I will say, once I actually got working, once I made it past the magic ring part of it, it ended up being a lot better of an experience. It wasn't shedding unless I was like purposefully doing this, like I'm talking about, and like if I really had to like undo something, and maybe a couple times that I was like frogging a little bit, it came undone or just like shed off a little bit, but it really wasn't too bad. There was like a random part, I think, when I got to the middle of the skein of yarn when I pulled it out, and there was kind of like a little knot in it, and it was like kind of messed up like this where a part was kind of shed, but it wasn't too bad. I just kind of kept going, and like the actual yarn itself is pretty forgiving, and so I just kept kind of going in the pattern, and there's like a little lump that you can see from where this like knot is, but nothing too bad. So I will show you my work in progress. We'll have to stay tuned for a future video where I actually finish this project. The unicorn is actually really quite large, and it's a kind of big project that I bit off, but I'm excited to keep going with it and finish it. So I've finished the head. Let me show you the unicorn head, minus the horn, minus the hair. So it looks a little goofy with just the head, but here it is. There we go. You can sort of imagine there's going to be a horn here. There's going to be hair back here. It's going to be sewn to a body. So it looks a little bit goofy with just these two like safety eyes just like there. And just this head, like standalone head. You can't even tell. I wonder if I showed this to someone, would they know? I mean, I don't think so. Would they know that this is a head of a horse or a unicorn or an animal? I'm not sure. It looks kind of like a balloon or something. So this actually took almost one entire skein of the yarn. This is how much I have left over. So in this case, did I win yarn chicken just for this one piece? And then I'm in progress on the body. Here's the body. I think this is like it's not stuffed yet. So yeah, this is just, again, work in progress. I think the bottom, it's wide at the bottom, and it's going to go to I think I'm working my way up. I think this is like going towards like the neck and the head. And then we're going to attach, God, I don't even know, something like this. I'm not sure. Stay tuned for a future video. But I ran out for my second skein, which I thought I would. So I've ordered more, but it has not arrived yet. So it's going to be a body, a head, and then you make arms and legs that are some white and some of this blue. And then you make the yellow horn and rainbow hair. I also ordered it's a different kind. It's like an eyelash yarn, which I think is going to be interesting to work with, to make the rainbow mane. So I'm looking forward to that. Will I use this yarn again in the future? Probably not. I mean, really not a great experience. Here I am with my like shedding everywhere. Also just like little, like my husband keeps saying, there's just like little metallic silver pieces that just are coming off of this that are getting everywhere. These like little teeny tiny metallic pieces, which probably isn't great. So not ideal, but the yarn is pretty, and I still am gonna look forward to doing something, especially with this black with the nice silver. I love black and silver, and I love sparkly things. So, but maybe there's a better glitter sparkly yarn out there that doesn't have these same problems. But you know, I wanted to experiment. I did. I, for whatever reason, committed to making this gigantic unicorn project with it, but I'm excited for to see how it comes out. I'm gonna keep for sure working my way through it. And actually, like I said, once I made it past the magic ring, it actually has been, it's still really soft. It's been a kind of mostly a very pleasant experience to work with. But we'll say not as pleasant as so far. This is still Premier Basics Chenille Brights. This is still my favorite, and I'm looking forward to making more things with it. I also plan to continue to experiment with other yarns. This is Parfait Chunky Glitz. I know a lot of people love the regular Parfait Chunky, so I will definitely be experimenting with that soon and have another video around that. And more future yarns in the future to keep just experimenting and finding what kind of yarns I like. So with that, thank you so much for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. Bye.